lore video.
Start streaming now. There it goes.
Dusk.
A few hours ago.
Alright, stream status is good.
I will refresh.
We have internet. Repeat, we have internet.
We have internet.
And I think we're live. Yes, we are live right now.
Sorry,
Yay!
folks.
Sorry about that. Oh, hold on. I have to turn my camera on.
Literally, my internet just went.
Yeah. Oh, hi, honey.
It is.
Hi, honey bunny.
There we're
Some
up.
link here to. Yep, there we go. That should be it.
Let me pop out the chat.
That was kind of bananas right there.
And we're back. All right, sweet. There we go.
All right,
rock and roll.
I was literally like typing in the tweet, guys, the tweet out like, "Oh, we're live," and then I'm sitting there, and as I'm typing, I go, "Oh, everybody's being real quiet," and then I just look up, and everybody's just sitting there like,
hey,
no faces.
Raymond, what's up? Ed, what up?
So sorry. Guys.
It was a router fail. You're right.
Hey, Kate Sixer in chat. We just died like you're going to, and
we were talking about death, and his internet died. Aldrin's to blame. You're right.
Oh
yes.
man, yes, I blame Aldrin. I'm gonna exact my revenge.
Take two. Yes.
Take two. All right, stream. Well, guys, thanks for coming and sticking around with us here. We are live. We are a go. Assuming, I mean, my internet never goes down like that. It was just whatever happened. I mean, the router was still rolling, but the internet just went. Like,
I'm bad luck. I'm bad luck.
What the hell are the chances? I know Notch getting in an accident today. Notch, this is gonna happen, man. Something.
Man,
we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this for sure. But what's up, everybody? Thank you here, of course, for tuning in. We're glad you guys could be here. This is the week of Guardian Con. Now, we are aware, obviously, that the big Guardian Con stream is happening right now. We want you guys to please donate. We're going to mention that here in the show. It's going to be in our show notes for the podcast, all that good stuff. But if you're unaware, which I don't know why you'd be tuning into the show and you are, but the Guardian Con stream is happening now. So go donate. What are they at now? Do we have the total? Is it like 1
It was over $1.5 million. I don't know.
1.5, yeah.
So we'll get going on that. But we got a great guest here, our buddy Notch. Notch from mining K-Dub's Paragon days. We'll catch up with Notch here, introduce you guys to him. I think you guys will get a kick out of him. Notch is an awesome dude, and he's a great streamer too. You should be watching him for sure. And he likes playing Destiny, so watch him play some Destiny. So, all right. We're always the black shirt crew. Everybody always says that.
Yeah.
It's always the black shirts.
That's right.
That's what we always wear, man.
I got my Warmind shirt on.
Solo, it's backwards right now, but I got my black and white solo shirt. All right, are we ready, guys?
Ready.
Here we go. Guardian Radio, episode 258. Here we go. Welcome everyone to Guardian Radio, the first and longest running Destiny podcast on the net. I am your host, Mark Turcotte, and you are tuned into episode 258. And joining me this week, as always, from inside his closet, K-Dub. K-Dub, what's up, dude?
What's up, boys and girls? Hey, man, it's been a pretty crazy day for me. I spent 11 hours in my car today.
Always a good thing.
I had to take my son up for a follow-up visit to his neurologist from his surgery that he had 3 weeks ago, just to check up on things, make sure we're looking good. Everything went fine, but I had to go 4 hours up to Orlando. We spent a couple hours chilling because we got there early. 15 minutes to see the doctor, and then 4 hours home. So it was a really fun day. Took a nap when I got home, but everything went really well. Everything's great, and looking forward to talking with our buddy Notch and talking all of this. Holy crap, Forsaken.
Holy crap, talking about 11 hours. This episode could probably be 11 hours.
Yeah.
Well, let's see that other voice there, our King of Queens, Mesa Sean. Sean, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, it's been hard to catch up. I mean, or keep up, I should say, with all the news coming from Game Informer. I mean, they put out a video today where they give you a tour of the Tangled Shore, which looks way more amazing than I predicted. Because I thought the Tangled Shore was going to be a small, like kind of small patrollable area, and then the Dreaming Cities where everything would happen. Right. But no, it's big. It's got lost sectors, and we get to see some new supers, and we have too much to talk about tonight, so I'm going to stop right here.
No doubt. And our special guest this week, guys, we mentioned to you last week that he was going to be here. He's a longtime friend of mine and K-Dub's, going back to our Paragon radio days. He was a big streamer when it comes to Paragon. Hell, he was on the front page of Twitch for that, and he loves Destiny, and that's why I wanted to bring him here. So, Notch, another Notch. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for having me on. It's awesome to talk about. We talked about Paragon on the other one, and now we get to talk about Destiny, so I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, Notch, I know, some of our listeners and some of our viewers here on YouTube Gaming may not be familiar with you, I guess, as a streamer. So tell everybody just a little bit about yourself. What got you into streaming? What got you into gaming? And, of course, what brought you here to Destiny? What is it, man?
Gaming, I mean, I started streaming as just kind of like a hobby. It happened many years ago. We're going on 4 years as of June 1st. and it was just kind of a hobby, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with building the community I built, and just talking to nerds who like the same games I liked. And then Destiny for me has always been like off stream with buddies. I never really played it on stream because I focused on MOBAs and games that were a bit more competitive. When it came to, I guess, teaching on my stream is what I like to do, is teach people how to get good with X character. And so for me, Destiny was always off stream. And then
it was like your comfort game.
Yeah, I would
Like
get off. I'd get off
food.
stream and I would load up my PlayStation and I would just jump into some Destiny. And that was just always the way I unwound. And then with the big announcement that Paragon was no longer a thing, I was trying to find a game to play, and for me it was Destiny. Warmind came out, and when Warmind came out, I was just like, damn it, I still love Destiny. I just want to play this game, and I've been playing this game all the time, nonstop.
Awesome.
And just absolutely loving it.
Well, where can people find you, man? Real quick, too. Give the plug here. Top of the show.
You guys can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Another Notch, and I stream Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. and then on Twitter at Notch Plays Games.
Awesome. All right, man. We're glad to have you here. What a week, too, to have you here. I mean, there's so much, like Sean said, so much to talk about. What's up, everybody, over on YouTube Gaming, youtube.com/MesaSean. We do the show live on Monday nights, and for all purposes, we're going to do a show next week, guys, right? I mean, I know we're going to have the Guardian Con tiredness, but I think we could do it. I think we could pull the show off next week. So we will be live.
We're going to have to talk about it. Are you kidding me? Holy crap.
And if you cannot be there live, of course, remember you can always catch the show on YouTube, youtube.com/MesaSean, or of course, catch the podcast, however you tune in with us, through iTunes, through Podbean, whatever your podcast service of choice is. Tune in there. You can also find it on our website, theguardiansofdestiny.com, and follow us on Twitter at GuardiansofD. It's the best way to keep in touch with us. And you're going to be wanting to keep in touch with us this week because this is Guardian Con week. And I want to say before we get into anything, of course, the big Guardian Con stream is happening right now. They've raised over $1.5 million, more than they did last year. It's insane. Get in there, guys, right now. The
goal for this year, by the way, is 2.7 million, because that is what it takes to run St. Jude's for one day.
One day.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? You think of all this money that, Guardian Con has raised every single year, and it's like, that doesn't even.
You think 1.5 million, and
day.
you're just like, holy, no, 2.7. Wow. I think they'll hit it. They're already at 1.5. The streams so far have been fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll hit it. They'll hit it.
I think one person donated 50 Gs.
That's awesome.
That's incredible. Yep.
That is fantastic.
So we will have the link, of course, in the show notes, and of course, it's on Twitch right now. Guardian Con. The schedule is over there. I think we even retweeted the schedule. Bife's been a part of it a bunch. I know the WTF Game Nation guys and Bife are going to be streaming. Is it tomorrow or it's one of the days coming up?
I don't remember the time slot. Yeah.
So be sure to tune into that, and of course, help support it. And of course, this
buddy Eric's, by the way, is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. UK time, which is 4 a.m. here Eastern.
Gotcha.
If you like Eric's.
Nice. And of course, Guardian Con is this week, and I know not everybody can go, but like we said, if you want to feel like you're a part of it, we're going to always have our booth being streamed like we do every year, twitch.tv/GuardianRadio, so you can see the live booth cam. What's happening there? Say what's up in the chat. And we're also going to have our panel that is happening at 11:30 on Friday. We're the first panel of the show in the Rare Drop Theater, which is awesome. And if you can't be there,
no pressure.
That's right. I think you can start seating at 11 o'clock. 11:30 is when it starts. It's going to go from 11:30 until 1. And if you can't be there, we're asking you to be a part of it by sending us questions and topics. You can send them to us on Twitter at GuardiansofD. However, Sean, as I mentioned last week, is going to put a video out tomorrow. So that'll be Tuesday. Leave comments and questions in that video, and we're going to pull from that as well. And we're looking for anything. It can be anything about Destiny, just about us personally, where Sean gets the quaff from, where really is K-Dub's closet. Is he actually in the closet? Whatever.
Hey, I'm only going to be in the closet for about another month and a half, dude.
Send them to us. We want this to be a fun panel. And, of course, we got a bunch of just surprises. I mean, last year we had a bunch of surprises. So if you're going to be there, it's going to be good as always.
Dude, I'm coming out of the closet like August 1st.
That's right. You are, finally.
I'm moving, and we have a den, and I'm gonna look like Mark over there with a friggin' big ass area to
the nerd room happening.
Exactly, nerd room.
And of course, even if you can't make it there, but you're gonna be there on Thursday if you live in the Tampa area. It's Thursday night, 7 p.m., July 12th, at the Sale Pavilion. It's right around the corner from the convention center. Us and the guys from Crucible Radio, we're doing a combined meetup. Come hang out. We're gonna be there for I think at least 7 to 10, probably even later going into the night. Come hang out. We'll be there having a good time. So, all right.
You guys did one last year, right? A meetup?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Call the Wing House. They're still recuperating.
How many people showed up for last year's? Do you guys know?
Well, last year, the
Thousands,
first
man.
year was kind of just, I think that was one of the only places, so everybody went. Last year, it almost seemed like there was more, but it was also because our buddy from Guardian Outpost, he did his meetup there as well. The parking lot was just a wreck. Cosmo from Bungie, our buddy Cosmo, showed up. I mean, it was just completely bananas at the place. But they were expecting it last year because we called them. Well, actually, I think Guardian Outpost called them ahead of time and said, hey, look at your books last year at this date. Right. This is what's going to happen. I mean, the parking lot was just shut down.
And we have tried to warn the sale pavilion, but they are not very receptive on the phone.
Yeah.
I was going to go by there today because I drove to Orlando and back, but I didn't want to add another hour just to go all the way over there and then back out, and so, 'cause it was just too long of a day. So we're gonna try and hit there on Thursday because we get there early. I get Mark from the airport around 9. We're gonna probably drop in there sometime around midday and give them a heads up, like, "Yo."
There is somebody which by the way, there is a Guardian Con app. Download the app if you're going. There is a list of meetups. Our meetup is in there. I have it listed 7 to 10. There is a luncheon at the sale pavilion at like 12. So they're going to get a little bit of a taste of what's going on. And then, of course, when the nightlife hits for Guardian Con, I mean, it's just going to be bananas at that point. So if you can be there, definitely be there. And, of course, if you're at the convention and you can't even make it to our panel, just swing by the booth. We're literally right across from the Digital Extremes booth. So if you like Warframe, we're right there. They're right there. You'll find us. You can't miss us. Just stop by, say hey. We may even have some stuff to give away to you. And as always, we do our big raffle. And you got to sign our banner. We always have the Guardian Radio banner. Stop by. And we'll have all that.
I've got them loaded in the truck.
All right, let's move on here, guys. We got so much to talk about this week. Let's move on to our first segment, the news segment that we call Dispatches from the Traveler. All right, so we talked about Guardian Con, but let's move on here to what might possibly be some of the biggest news. I mean, we could this Forsaken stuff is nothing to the fact that Future War Cult boys won it.
FWC for the win.
They did it. They
got
won.
the win.
What do you guys think of that?
Finally got the win.
That's what I pledged to.
Did you really? Do you always pledge to it, Notch, or no?
No. I say this with a heavy heart. I always played Warlock in Destiny 1, and Dead Orbit always had the best looking gear for Warlock. And so I was a Dead Orbit guy, always. And so when the first one came out, I was like, Dead Orbit, like, I need to get the catalyst for Lance. Like, I have to get it. And so I went Dead Orbit, and then this one I was like, okay, I call it Sunspot because my stream hates it. So I got my Sunspot catalyst, and it was. I don't know how I feel about these weeks, but it was a lot of fun actually. We had viewers in and out as we grinded, and it was just it's cool. The Future War Cult won.
The funny thing about it, and maybe this is what you're going to say, Sean, that there was a screenshot they showed in the TWAB that actually the percentage of people that actually pledged to the factions, 41% of people actually pledged to Dead Orbit, and only 31% were Future War Cult. Yep. But the people that pledged to Future War Cult were way more active. Because what was it, like 42% of the people actually.
Did it die?
There's less people doing more, but they still won. You know, they were more committed. Oh, sorry. Good.
The thing with I grinded it for the Sunshot Catalyst, got the Catalyst, and then I was going to go into PvP and thought I was going to be amazing with it. I am terrible with hand cannons when it comes to PvP, but I was actually shocked. The Future War Cult gear with the ornaments on looks amazing on the Hunter and the Warlock, and the shader makes everything look good.
Yeah,
like I use the Dawning gear for the Warlock, and I use the Anna Bray gear set for the Hunter. And you throw on that new Warmind Future War Cult shader, and it looks really, really good. Yeah.
I will, although, be wearing my new Monarchy shoes at Guardian Con.
So you have
God, yeah. My raid shoes and my glasses. Hello.
You know the Jerky Boys, right now. We talk to half these kids, and it's like nobody knows who the Jerky Boys are.
Who's the Jerky Boys? I do know the Jerky Boys.
Sir sold bad, awful things, and I fell down the stairs, and my shoes fell off.
My shoes fell off.
Deej, I was very injured at the tower.
Here's a question, and I know the answer to most people is probably going to be no, they wouldn't want it this way. But like for me, and Notch, I mean, you were saying you're always a Dead Orbit guy, but this time it's like I got to go Future War Cult. Do you think it would be? And I don't want to say better because it isn't going to be better, but if they didn't show us what the rewards were, and it's like pledge your faction, boys. Like, just go for it. And I know it sucks, but it's like you need to make that commitment. People are making that commitment to that faction and just going for it.
I don't know.
Commit, man. You want to pledge? Do it. Pledge.
But
I kind of like that idea.
Pledge the RNG, right?
That's so scary. Like I knew the reason I was doing it. Like, I wanted this catalyst and I wanted said ornament, and I don't know if I could commit without knowing. Maybe if they were like, hey, look, you can get this, but then everything else was random. Then they just teased you with one thing. I think what I really want them to do is make it instead of the get gear, do public events, loot lost sector, is reward people for different.
Yeah, I know. That was a big thing in my feedback video. I was like, they got to give strikes more rewards for tokens.
Strikes
PvP
and raids.
people, I mean, you get 2 tokens for a loss, 5 for win. If you do a prestige raid and spend that much time, get like 200 tokens or something like that, you know. But
I'd love something like that.
The whole renown lost sector thing, it's fun. I like it. It gets a little boring and a little old after about a day or two. Yeah. And then I would like to do other things and then maybe come back to that. You know what I mean? Like strikes or
I think it would be interesting to take that renown and put that into PvP or put that into strikes. Like they can incorporate that
PvP
somehow.
Would be cool, man. That'd be a cool little modifier too. Imagine that. Like whatever they can put that into Crucible Labs and just try it. Put that into Crucible Labs.
Wars, you know what I mean?
See how it goes.
Faction Wars would be awesome.
Yep.
If like 2 teams play, depending on which faction, if you were future war call, you lose tokens, and if you lost, you know what I mean? Or
like gambling, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna wager. I'm gonna wager 100 of my future war cult tokens, and if I lose all of those tokens. But if we win, I'm gonna gain 100 back or an extra 100. I think that would be such a cool way to do it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Be interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's see what else we have. The prestige raid layers officially announced. We have the dates and times, and originally they weren't going to split them up, right? But they listened.
And then everyone lost their mind over World's First.
World's First. So they are splitting it up. So Eater of Worlds is coming out first 7/17 and 11 a.m. Pacific. So that's 2 Eastern, and Inspired Stars 7/18 at 10 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah, why do they do a different hour? Like, I don't get that. Why is one 11 a.m. one's the other one's 10 a.m.
I don't know.
I mean, not that it really matters that much, but
yeah, back end stuff maybe.
Yeah, something there. And so we do know that they are adding the modifiers, of course, to the prestige layers with the lock loadouts. They gave us a hint as to one of these new modifiers, and it's called Arsenal. And the only clue they gave us is they said it's weird. That's all I say about it. As far as a curated loadout goes, I can only give you a little advice about one slot. I've been looking out for my time-worn Spire, and I feel an autumn wind blowing.
I'm glad I kept those 2. They're in my vault right now. They're in my vault.
That's funny.
So what do you think, Sean? Any ideas here for what this...
Man, I mean, like, if they throw one that has a sidearm for a energy slot or something, like, that's going to be difficult, you know what I mean? But
I'll be so pissed.
I like it because, listen, right now, we're all in that rut where, I mean, for me at least, when it comes to the raid, I'm using the same things. I'm using Nameless Midnight. I'm going to use Graviton sometimes. I'm using the Braytech Osprey rocket launcher, even though everyone says, no, it's not better than Sins of the Past. I disagree. It has better velocity and the same blast radius. But we use the same things all the time. So I feel like not only it being prestige, but also the fact that it forces you to use something else that you're not very comfortable with. You know what I mean? I like it. I think it's a great idea, I think. You know?
I think this is the idea of the prestige raid is cool, that it does make you go outside your comfort zone. I mean, that's one thing that I said was cool going back and starting a new character, like my Warlock and my Hunter, when I went back and did that. And when you're in those early levels and you're forced to use whatever the highest power weapon you have is, so you're using a sidearm, you're using a submachine gun, maybe that you wouldn't necessarily use all the time, or hell, even a grenade launcher. I never use grenade launchers except for the colony, of course, but like that was cool to be able to do that, and I'm actually looking forward to that with Forsaken going into it. I'm kind of hoping we're going to be back on that train again, because it's fun to go through these encounters and be using things you typically wouldn't, and that's where I think the prestige raid layers are going to be awesome, where you're going to have to lock into this loadout and go outside your comfort zone, plus couple in with that the modifiers, which means people are probably going to have to go into each encounter just completely different as it is because of that. You're not going to have, not that there's necessarily cheeses there, but people now kind of have it down to a science as to how to do each encounter. That's totally going to change it.
Yeah.
T-Storms in the chat said that the reason the first day is at 11 a.m. is to give everybody time to download.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Totally makes
that
sense.
guy's the smartest guy in chat.
Smartest
right?
guy in the chat.
I already gave him props.
So yeah, but that was pretty much it for the TWAB. I mean, they talked about, of course, Guardian Con, but the big news, and I do mention it in there, and this I think was announced after we did our show last week, is that Destiny 2 is the big Game Informer exclusive. It's the cover for this month, which they've done this every year. It's always been, they've done the month of, I guess, what is this, the July or August issue? I think it's the August issue, actually, because magazines are weird like that, where they kind of go a month ahead. But it is all Destiny 2 Forsaken. And what do we want to talk about first? We're going to talk about the supers. We got a good little rundown.
Give me them
here,
supers,
I think
man.
this is the thing that's going to change the way we play the game. So I'm going to go
the
through
TTKing of D2.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. We're going to talk about the hunters. Which are any of us hunters here, Sean?
Nope.
I'm a warlock.
Yeah,
no,
no.
warlock.
I started a hunter on PC. I've never played a hunter before, and since D1, I was warlock and titan, always warlock and titan. And when I switched over to PC, I was like, I got to try a hunter. So I just recently leveled a hunter.
Okay.
The last faction rally, and I prefer my titan.
The hunter is in Ant-Man and the Wasp, by the way. I don't know if you
That's right, he is. Yep. That chick looks
I've been
just like
loving
a
the Night Stalker for PvP lately, kind of breaking it, because I'm normally a Blink Warlock, which is annoying, but as is now, I'm annoying Night Stalker, constantly going invisible with the Frosties and throwing smoke at people, and I love the
smoke
Frost
grenades.
You know why I think I hate Hunter so much is like Mayhem was live this week.
Oh yeah,
Man,
fun.
the freaking
They're
fun
anti-fun.
Love
Come
it, man.
on, man.
Love it.
It's just.
But you know what? With the Go
so
Fast
annoying, Sean.
update, I noticed it's harder to tether Dawnblades and Funbreakers. I do notice that though,
Sean.
because everyone moves so much faster.
They still just wreck you, man. It just kills me. Every time I'm like, I pop my hammers like, bam, and then it's like, and then I'm looking at the sky and I'm looking down. And I'm like, what the hell?
And then
Tractor
cannons up
cannon,
here.
and you're just like, oh my god, why?
Yeah.
That's the worst thing about the tether is just that it jacks up your camera view.
You completely become disoriented when you're in there.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's talk real quick here about the Hunter. We'll start at the bottom of the barrel. Hunter, Night Stalker's Way of the Wrath. Your melee smoke bomb heavily damages and slows those in its path. You nail the perfect precision kill against a foe to vanish and gain true sight, which isn't that one? That's one of the big ones that they were saying.
Isn't that where you can see through the walls and whatnot?
Spectral Blades drops you into the Veil of Shadows to slip behind foes and stab them before they know you're even there. So this is going to be a more annoying Hunter entering the way.
That's going to be, you're going to have to do some work to master that, though. I mean, there's going to be some serious, movement stuff you're going to have to get down with.
Yep.
On that.
I think that was the one, Sean, when we were at the summit. Did you play that? What did you play? Because I played a Hunter, and that was the one where you kind of like throw both blades out. And I just felt like...
Yeah, like at E3, they had it. I was playing a Warlock, then the Titan. Blessius gave me footage, because we shared footage there, of this the Spectral Blades, and it looked like a Blade Dancer Void, but yeah, like you said, a lot of mastering, because I could tell he was kind of just mashing the buttons, because he was doing these rolls, and then he would go Invis, and he would come out of Invis, and then he had like these two knives with him, instant that. So it probably will take some skill to master, but definitely seem like it's gonna wreck people, I think.
To my Paragon people here, the Way of the Wrath is the Countess. Your Countess
right.
with the blades running.
Shadow Slip Countess.
Shadow Slip. Yep.
All right, I'm not playing Destiny anymore. I've just changed my mind. Thanks for the invite to the podcast. I'm out of here.
Let's see. The Hunter, the Gunslinger's Way of 1,000 Cuts. This gives you a knife trick where you melee, you fling out that fan of burning blades, which you could see in a lot of the trailers that are out there. Entering killing burning enemies recharges your knife trick, and burning enemies also recharge your dodge. And the Blade Barrage doubles down on your knife skills to expel a volley of explosive kills. So this is just going to be... what is this? This is kind of like a Hunter being...
throwing knife, burning.
Yeah,
it's
just
a burning, throwing knife,
like
basically.
a friggin' Hammer Titan out there with knives instead.
Yep.
Yeah, they showed it today in the Game Informer Tangled Short clip. It's a one-time thing. So it's not like you're throwing knives out. You just go like this, and all these like solar knives kind of go everywhere and stuff. It looked really cool. It looked more for like mob control more than like boss DPS, I think.
I wonder if it'll have area of effect, almost like like when you shoot a shotgun. The closer you are, the more damage it does. So if you're closer to an enemy, like somebody could drop a tether on an enemy, and you drop up or jump up,
damage drop off,
do the whole thing like really close to him. Bam.
Yeah.
It hits them with the whole fan.
Every single one of them. Yeah, just to crit all of them at once.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to see.
Because most people are probably going to sit back to toss it, but if you get up close, you just hit them all.
High risk, high reward kind of ability. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The Arcstrider Way of the Current. Says slide before melee to unleash a staff-powered uppercut, which looks awesome, by the way, if you've seen video of that. And any melee hits increase your reload speed. All your arc abilities electrify your enemies, and subsequent melee strikes disorient them and refuel your abilities. Use your staff super like normal if desired, but the Whirling Guard, where you see him, where he's
that's
like
the one you see in the trailer,
spinning the staff, reflecting
like
back projectiles and tripling your staff's damage afterwards. Which that's an interesting thing too. So it's like if you use that, it basically is powering it up.
Yeah, that's the one I'm most excited for with hunters.
So if you see a whirling hunter, don't shoot him.
Don't shoot it. No, I think that's the one for that's definitely the PvP. That's definitely PvP in your face. I think that's the one I'm most excited for.
Although, I mean, I could see if you run into a big mob of enemies and they're all blasting at you, you know, and you
That's true, yeah. You know. Right before a boss.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a few different. Yeah, there'll be a few different.
You know what's interesting? Reading all of these, like, you know, the new raid, which we hear is going to have the most bosses of any raid of any time. Like, you know, these. I'm guessing these supers were built kind of around how to counter the raid bosses, or maybe vice versa. Maybe the raid bosses were built to say, okay, well, in this one, you know, the Way of the Wraith Hunter, they're going to be the ones that people are going to go to for this encounter, which is so cool because they're very unique. I mean, why else would you really need to deflect back projectiles to power
something
up?
Else, you know? Something else we're going to need to think about is how these different supers work together with other characters of your fire team or of your raid team. You know, that I think because as we looked at in Gambit and kind of some of the stuff that's coming, they're almost getting into the holy trinity thing of, you know, tank, DPS, and healer with some of these. So, you know, it's not exactly that, but you can play it that way, sort of. So it's going to be interesting to see how some of these work with each other.
Well, we talk crowd control, and one of the things of Gambit is every enemy you kill, they drop one of those motes. If you have a horde of Thrall in front of you, and you have that Night Stalker that can jump up and throw out, or who's it, the Gunslinger, throw out the cuts, the 1,000 cuts, just wipe out a bunch of Thralls, and then somebody goes in and quickly gets all those motes. It's a way to just quickly get those motes fast.
Yep.
One thing to keep in mind too, and I want to hear what Chad has to say about this. Not all of the 9 supers will be available as soon as Forsaken comes out. Right?
Do we know which one's which? Like which one's coming out first yet? Or no.
But the Peanut Gallery went nuts with this, saying like it's time gated. Why are you making us wait? Look, if they gave you everything right away, you're going to complain within 2-3 weeks. You're bored with everything. You know what? I hope they're quests. You know what? I hope they're long quests. You know what I mean? I hope it takes me 3 weeks to get to one of the supers. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's gonna be what it is, Sean. Because the Dreaming City is going to be on a 3-week rotation.
Yeah,
and I think that absolutely could be what it is.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing, though, because it gives you... Everybody complained. I didn't have a reason to come back and play. Well, I'm going to come back and play. I did everything week 1. And now they have a reason to come back. Because if you want to become a 2-Min of Grace Warlock, like, then you have to come back and play. Yeah. And I think that's fantastic. That's what we all wanted, right? We wanted a grind. We wanted our random roll weapons back. We wanted our grind back. And now Destiny's giving it to us. You are going to have people that are going to come in and complain no matter what because I just want it right now. But I'm okay with that decision. If I have to grind and get some of these that way, sign me up. I'm totally down for that.
Yep.
Well, then you're also going to get a week to play with that thing and master that super before you get the next one. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Their goal is to make Destiny 2 the hobby again. You know what I mean? Yeah. Give you a reason to log in daily, weekly, whatever, and this and that. So if it means for the folks who aren't hardcore playing every day and they play maybe, a couple times a week, whatever. Look, it's gonna be a long time until probably December until we get what is it, Joker's Wild or whatever the first content update's gonna be.
The first little update.
So, so as long as they could fill that out and spread things out, and the way that they talk about the Dreaming City and all the secrets and the triumphs and everything, this is, and they flat out said this is bigger than the Taken King. I think we're gonna be in good shape, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I think the common misconception though is I see it in chat. Time gating stuff is not a grind. Time gating stuff, just because they say, oh, you have to do this week and you can't do anything until next week. We don't know how the quests are going to play out. Exactly. The quests could be grindy, and it's like, hey, this could take you 5 days if you're a dedicated player, or if you're casual and you only have a chance to log in 3 or 4 days. Maybe you only have enough time to get this point done. Until Tuesday when everything resets. So yes, time gating is not a grind. You're right, but none of us have seen how this new system is going to work. None of us know how this quest.
One glimpse into that system we had was with Warmind. We had, what is it, the Nascent Dawn quest?
Yeah,
every week you could do step 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, and now Not that it took you a long time. I mean, usually within like an hour or so you could finish it, but it was kind of meant for those people that
gave you something to do
something to do, right? Exactly.
And that's what we all wanted. We all wanted something to do. So you can be upset that it's time gated, but you knew, oh shit, next week I need to log in and I need to do this if I want to get X weapon or X gear, whatever it is. And that's not a bad thing if you're incentivized to log in every week. I don't see why people are upset about that.
I'll tell you, we're about to talk about the Warlock supers, and there's one in here that I'm gonna be looking forward to. So
okay, go with it. Who you got? Which one?
Well, it's the teleporting one. We'll talk about all three of them here.
Okay. So let's see. We got the Warlock, the Void Walker. You get the Attunement of Fission. You got a new Atomic Breach melee ability. Creates a void explosion at range while holding the grenade button down. Creates a short range area explosion supernova. And any void ability kills now heal you and grant ability energy. And then you have the Nova Warp, which empowers you with trans-dimensional hopping abilities, letting you repeatedly teleport short distances and then erupt in a burst of energy. Friggin' Nova from Marvel Comics. It's awesome.
From just the little clips we've seen, this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun because you just see him going up to, I think it was either a Taken Ogre or a Hive Ogre. I forget. Yeah. But he basically teleports into him and then he explodes on him and wastes him. You know what I mean?
Did each little teleport have an explosion, or is it just the final teleport in?
I think you have to. Well, it says you got to press the trigger, I think, to manually trigger one of the explosions. Yeah, it says while holding the grenade button.
Nova Warp empowers you with trans-dimensional hopping abilities, letting you repeatedly teleport short distances and then erupt into a burst of energy.
Yeah.
So is it at the end, or is it like, can I teleport?
I don't know.
Like do little like being just a little bit of damage.
Can you select when you blow up or not?
Can I select when I blow up, or is it going to be I teleport and then explosion and then teleport and then explosion? Because in the trailer it looked like it was boom, boom, boom,
and then
explosion.
Boom. Right.
Yeah. I mean, you know what would be cool is each one of those little teleports. Like if you teleport and you're kind of near an enemy, it's almost like a tether, but you're tethering them to that big explosion. That would be cool. You know, where it creates like a little arc line in between everybody, and then when you hit it, boom, it kind of like flashes back down the line that you went down.
The Void Walker.
Let's see. The next one, the Warcallers, or the Warlock Stormcallers, Attunement of Control. You tap the melee button to fling. Which, by the way, can I just say how cool it is now that, like, activating these abilities, there's different, you know, I mean, I'm sure we had some different buttons where you drop down your rifts and all that, but I just think it's cool kind of how there's multiple things you can do now with these classes.
Yeah.
So you tap the melee button to fling out a long-distance electricity ball that eventually detonates and flings a lightning bolt straight downward. It says arc kills sometimes create ionic traces, a spark of raw arc energy that travels across the ground towards you, which can be collected to recharge your abilities. And then Chaos Reach fires a long-range blue beam of intense and focused damage dealing, which can be deactivated early to save energy, so you literally become Iron Man shooting a giant beam at people. Awesome.
Now you could see this today if you go to Game Informer's latest article where they explore the Tangled Shore. They do a public event. The guy that's playing, he's on a hunter, but you see two warlocks using that storm beam, and you just see those beams just wasting the high. It's a new public event where there's a Cro-Cell, I think it's called, and basically like this thing plops down, waves of enemy come to this thing, you kill all the enemies, and then the boss comes out of the Cro-Cell, and it's a big hive night and stuff like that. So, but you do see two Stormcallers with these beams just.
Sean, can you aim it once you go, or is it just can you kind of go and just kind of move a little bit, or?
I hope you can aim it.
Well, what I'm saying is like
have you played Heroes of the Storm? Have you played Heroes of the Storm?
I have.
So, what's her name? What's the mage's name? Ming Li? Li Ming?
I can't remember the name.
She's the arcane mage, and she has an ability. One of her super abilities is she basically does something similar to that, where she big beam of energy. She can move, she can aim it. Awesome. I feel like if they make it to where you can't aim that, it's purely for DPS on a boss, or straight line.
I think you'll be able to.
You need to be able to move with that, and I'd be surprised if you can't.
Yep. Well, that's what I said, Nova from Marvel Comics, but like in Marvel Heroes, I used to play Nova, and that was when he could teleport, he could blow himself up, and then you'd shoot a giant beam out, and you would just turn, and you could move it all over and just wipe enemies out by spinning in a circle practically. Let's see, the Dawnblade, you get the Attunement of Grace, so this is kind of the first real good support character coming in here. So the melee attacks burn the bad guys, but empower allies. It's transform your grenade by holding the button into a blessing, a projectile that heals allies and drops retrievable overshield orbs, which is awesome. And then you can drop the Well of Radiance, where you slam your solar sword into the ground, creating a wide radius aura that rapidly heals and empowers your friends. And it says any ability that heals. Well, it kind of got cut off there, Kato. But
Must got cut off. Yep.
Yep. But anyways, I used this at the summit when we were playing Gambit, and when the Primeval
E3 too.
Yeah, when the Primeval spawned, you throw this thing down, and everybody just started melting the Primeval. And then
I can also see this as a trials thing to use.
Yeah.
Because after E3, after we recorded it, we got to talk with Steve Cotton and Scott Taylor, and when you see other Guardians, when they come near the rift, they start getting tethered into the rift. And Steve wasn't 100% sure because it was still a build that was work in progress. But I think you could do things to extend the duration of this well of radiance that you put down. I had no idea that my grenades would heal my allies. I mean, because I was watching my grenades come back up, I just was throwing them at the fallen captains or whatever.
Yep.
But it should be like that's a real support class.
Yep.
Sure.
And I think Destiny needs support class.
Yeah. Oh,
so for me, that is a class. I've got a buddy that only ever plays healer.
Yeah, I know tons of people like that.
So for him, this is going to be that perfect class for him to play. And does it work with your empowering rift though? I know it says it empowers your friends, but can I stack both my rift?
Man, it'd be so good.
I think
my
you can
ultimate
because
together?
I noticed because I put it down. And I was like, okay, so I'm in a big rift, and then I still had rift energy, so I put another rift down.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing, but great point, because I was set on healing rift. But you're right, I should have tested that and changed it to empowering.
Done empowering,
well, actually,
and then
no, you know what? It was blocked off. We couldn't go in and inspect any of the subclass nodes. Yeah,
right.
So it was already set. But you are able to put a second rift, your basic little rift for yourself, while you're in the big one. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, dude, you can just see it right now. There's going to be a boss encounter where it's like, all right, we're going to do this, and then everybody gather up in this spot.
Right.
Drop your,
like
drop your.
It's just like we used to do bubble.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
bubble
I love
here,
that.
and
That's the
drop
best.
the bubble. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as
And
I
I'm
love
okay with that. Vault of Glass was such a great encounter, and it was like, hey, everybody meet right here. I'm dropping my bubble. Let's go. I think we need more encounters like that. So I'm excited.
I mean, that's the thing. As much as I like the Leviathan, kind of the setting and everything about it, like I miss more the battles. It just seems like Leviathan is more puzzles than the battles.
But that's what we all asked for.
I know.
We all asked.
Yeah.
We all said, I don't want any more bullet sponges, and then they gave us no bullet sponges, and everyone's like, "What? Can I get a bullet sponge? You think?
Come on,
you
man.
think the next time?"
This raid's going to be really hard, I bet, because when they release Spire of Stars, right? I think Deej was the one that tweeted out, here's the day where people say our game is too easy or something like that, or da-da-da-da. So I get a feeling the combination of the route they're going with Spire of Stars, now a full-blown raid, it's probably going to have a ton of mechanics as well as big, like
okay with that, man.
Joe said, Joe Blackburn said more bosses than any raid we've ever had.
Yep.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, man.
Is it 7? Did they give us a number of how many bosses?
No, they didn't say enough. They just said more bosses than we've ever had before. So
Right.
Yeah.
And then
let's get to the real news here. Let's talk about the Titans.
Yeah.
The Titan, let's see. The Sentinel, the code of the commander, says your melees cause explosions. Perfect. But all void ability damage also attaches a void detonator, and any subsequent damage causes a detonator to go off and attach detonators to enemies caught in the explosion. So this is amazing.
It's Graviton Lance when you punch somebody.
It is with my face.
But then it keeps going off, and then
it keeps going.
Somebody right.
Yeah,
it's like an anti-team shot. Super.
Graviton Fist. What are we talking about? Let's see. Grenade energy partially recharges for you and nearby allies when detonators trigger, and then you have your banner shield.
This is beautiful.
It can still,
awesome.
It says your banner shield can still be used for offense like normal, but holding guard creates a barrier wall of light that absorbs enemy attacks, but allows ally attacks to pass through it, which is
we can still shoot through it from behind, but theirs can't come through from the front.
They let the Titan drop this, and then the Warlock drop the empowering rift, and then people are shooting through that. Oh, I can't wait.
Well, the funny thing is, because right now in PvP, when people always drop their wall, and then they'll, let's say they're low health, so they, as a panic, they throw their wall up, but then they're dumb, then they'll go peek out to shoot.
Yeah,
you just shoot them and they die. It's like, hey, asshole, the reason you put that up is so people can't shoot you.
It makes perfect sense. I got him now because there's this wall in front of me. Crap.
And then they peek out and no dead.
This is a tank. This is full a protection.
Right.
If you played World of Warcraft, you played him. This is a protection warrior ability. I think it's fantastic.
I was a paladin.
Hey, we're getting those. We're getting those tank, healer, DPS, and I think it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The Titan Sunbreaker is the code of the Devastator. You throw your hammer with the melee button, but it remains in the world. You can risk retrieving it where it fell to fully recharge it. So it's cool. It kind of falls on the ground. You can go over and grab it. And it triggers health regen at that point too. It says the more solar ability kills you get, the higher your damage, up to 3 stacks, so 3 times. And then the Siege Hammer creates a flaming maul that hits like an earthquake and leaves behind flame tornadoes.
Tornadoes.
Really
I'm
cool.
excited about this one.
I'm
That
not
looks really
so
cool.
sure about that whole remaining in the world, and then you got to go get it because it's going to turn yourself into a. It's kind of like when you see somebody drop a heavy brick. You know,
But it's going to be like the first hunter one. It's how are you going to be able to master that?
right
Because if
No,
that's 3
agreed.
times the additional damage,
Yeah, man.
and I'm able to hit somebody, pick up that kill, then pick it up and get one, it fully recharged and it retains the 3 times damage plus the health regen, you're gonna mess
I don't care.
people up.
Isn't
if
this
you
going to be
understand how
more
to
like
use
a
that.
pop them with a gun when they're low, and then throw the hammer? That'll be like your cleanup. Will be with the hammer.
Yeah, but I
Exactly.
can
kill them,
see in
go
a PvP,
pick it up,
I
and then
can
keep
see-
going.
I
Yeah.
can see in a PvP situation where you throw it, right? Okay, let's say you get a kill right there, it drops. One of their teammates, they're going to start shooting you, obviously, with an energy weapon.
Right.
And then as you try to go get it, they know you're going to get it. They know where you're
Well,
going.
Yeah,
It's
in
kind
a
of like
team
one
shot
of those.
situation, you shouldn't be throwing it. That's part of what not just saying, like learning it
Yeah,
and
right.
mastering it. You're not. You just have to learn not to do it there. And if you do it, then
Right.
yeah, you're going to get wrecked.
People are going to camp it, but at the same time, those same people that are going to camp it are the same guys that I'm not really worried about in PvP.
True.
Because they're
Right.
just sitting there like, come on, I know he's coming for this hammer.
Depends if they're a good sniper, though.
I guess
That's true because snipers will be back, man. Now, big time.
Yep.
That's true.
Let's see in the final one, the Code of the Missile, which is the striker, while airborne, melee to slam into the ground like a bunker buster and gain super energy for your trouble. So this is basically death from above from like Destiny 1, which is cool though because it's part of a melee. This isn't necessarily the super itself. And it
Yeah,
says if you
it's
pick up
ground
ammo
slam.
while sliding, you automatically reload your equipped weapon and increase weapon damage for a short time, which I think that's awesome. The fact you're increasing your damage is great. And then Thunder Crash sends you hurtling great distances like a missile to hit a target area like a meteor strike. And supposedly you can guide it too as you're kind of going through.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Flying.
You can fly up and then try to find your targets. But like the ground slam and also the whole reloading your equipped weapons. To me, this is probably going to be the most fun class for myself. I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
And who doesn't want to fly around the map?
Here, hold on, Sean.
Yeah.
Let me. Can you say that one more time? Let me just record that one more
Oh,
time. I'm just hitting record now. Most fun.
That's going
Most
to
fun
be
Titan.
just flying around the map like that is going to be awesome. You're going to be an easy target if you don't do it right, but still, it's fantastic.
When
The
it comes-
animation,
Because you do go fast. Because I used it at E3. You go fast, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
you got to launch yourself up because you only get one slam. You know what I mean? So once you go up, you kind of got to guide yourself to make sure you don't hit a tree or something like that. Playing Gambit, and make sure you hit near the floor, near someone at least. You know?
that's going to be a fun one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is going to be a fun one for sure.
All right. So there you go for the
Okay,
supers.
So
What?
with the supers though,
Yeah.
do you think the originals need to be buffed? Because these all sound crazy strong.
I don't think so.
Or do we move away from them?
I think people
mean,
are just
uh,
going to move away from them. Honestly, I
It
think
depends, though. I mean,
everybody's going to be playing the newness.
I'll still use hammers, though.
I'm still going to use Nova bombs for escalation
Yeah.
protocol type things, or
Right.
when we tractor cannon some sort of boss. I've loved this. Like ever since escalation protocol, I have a new appreciation for the Slova bomb. I used to never ever use the Slova bomb. Now I love it. Now I think I'll still use the old ones. You know?
And bubble will always be, there's always gonna be
Yeah.
a time and place for a bubble. I mean,
Yep.
But I mean, is there with the new banner shield?
absolutely. Yeah, because
Well,
it depends.
Yeah.
If you're wearing Helm 814, yes. So that's the only time you're going to run a bubble Titan is if you're wearing Helm.
Right.
So, but there's been a million times where I go in and I save the day because everybody's dead. I pop a bubble over and I can get the res. And anybody tries to come in there and get me, they go blind, and it's just funny,
Now, do
Yeah.
we know? So the interesting thing about the banner shield though is like the bubble, you could drop it, I guess, and then you can keep moving. Where this banner shield, you're going to be stuck, locked,
behind it.
holding that shield. So you have
Right.
nothing. You're just holding that shield while everybody's
Right.
shooting
Yeah.
through it. So
Right.
That's
Right.
true.
which I think
Right.
is kind of neat. I mean that you are the support class there at that point. You don't have the ability to be offensive at that point. But
Right.
Right. I mean, that
don't
with
know.
Empowering Rift and then Well of Radiance. Those are two abilities I can't wait to see in a raid. I can't wait to see those two in a raid.
Dude,
I'm
all of
super
this
excited
in the
for that.
raid is going to be. I mean,
And
just
yeah.
like, as dumb as it is, like the Code of the Missile, there's going to be a jumping puzzle somewhere, and that's how Titans.
Yeah,
is easy.
someone gotta
Boom,
cross
I got a
it.
missile
You gotta cross
across. Let me build up my super, and we're going to all sit over there and eat some popcorn while everybody
Save
else.
it for this one spot.
Yeah, save it for
Well,
the jumping puzzle, man.
We did that in another raid where you jumped and we did our super where you zzz, and did Superman across
Yep.
the cavern.
Vault
Yeah.
of Glass, you
Vault
can do
of
that.
glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vault, yep.
Yep. So I think the supers just even reading them out loud here on the show, just getting me hyped, man.
Well, again, and we don't know the encounters in the raids, so you know how these things are gonna, as we go through and learn the raids and different strats. That's where these things are gonna go. Oh, here's where if I use that code of the missile, right? So I mean, things are just gonna come to us as we learn it.
Yep.
All right. So here's some hot takes here. I mean, obviously there was tons of info throughout this week. I recommend people listen to the Game Informer show. Go read the Game Informer article. There's, as Sean mentioned now, there's a walkthrough today of the Tangled Shore that's out there. They show a public event, which maybe next week next week we're talking Guardian Con, but maybe we'll even dive into that next week because, you know, we could sit here all night and keep going through all these things. But here's some hot takes on some other things we're kind of pulling from the article that we want to go through. So there's going to be 10 to 15 new exotics coming in Forsaken. They haven't exactly said.
He didn't say if that was. I think that's just guns.
I think it's just guns. Yeah, because
right.
Steve Cotton replied back. They said, yeah, 15 or so weapons, and then I think Scott Taylor said, and some really cool armor.
Cool armor. That's what they said. Yes.
Hopefully 15 weapons, and hopefully.
And these are brand new. These aren't returning D1 weapons.
Well, no. Christopher Barrett did say some will be coming back from D1, but they really want to focus. Yeah, not Gjallarhorn, but they do want to focus on the newer ones. You know, all I want Hawk Moon to come back and at a good state. Not when it first came out, middle of the year. Hawk Moon, where it was good for PvE and for PvP. Yep. I want Hawk Moon to come back.
They did say in the 113 questions, they did say there is no Gjallarhorn. So people out there crossing your fingers for that. It's not coming back.
No Galley. No Galley. Now, the one that they did show us is one Cerberus +1. And Sean, you did a video on Cerberus +1. Will you tell everybody a little bit about that? The thing looks awesome.
Yeah, dude. It's an auto rifle that's kinetic, right? And it's got a single barrel in the middle and then 3 other barrels around it. And they said it's made up of a number of different weapons. Like you're going to see some Kavastov in it, some Origin Story. And when you see some gameplay of it, you see them hip firing an ogre in one of the lost sectors in Titan that they were on an adventure. Another thing too, guys, this DLC is also going to have some events on the destinations that we're at right now. Right. But you see when he's hip firing, all the barrels are going off. And he said when you're going through your ammo, it's hard to tell which barrel is emptying out, so to speak. But when you reload the magazine, all the barrels will then refill. Right. But they also said that, I mean, like I got the impression it's an auto rifle, but it's almost a fusion and a shotgun together because you kind of hip fire it. Josh Hamrick said in the article, he said, it's best to use up close and personal. It's kind of like he's one of those like
because all the shots will hit.
Yeah, he's like you just point near something and spray and then hope they die. But I think it does have some range, but it's not going to be like an Origin Story where you're going to have a lot of range on it. So
if you're aiming down the sights, does it only shoot
it's
one
a tighter
barrel?
Spread. No, it shoots them all.
Okay,
it's a tighter spread.
Yeah. And it will have different. It's going to have like a fluted barrel, rifled barrel, and I think a few other things. So it's kind of confirming. And I know everyone's calling me out like, well, no, Serious Regime, you could change perks. Most of the exotics we have now have fixed perks.
Correct.
Right. I like how in Destiny 1, you could take Mida and you had a perk tree, right? So you can, all right, do I want to have a faster reload? Do I want to have a lightweight on top of the Mida sprint speed? Mm-hmm. So I think they really are moving back to the exotics having.
I mean, they are. That's we have that listed
perks
here. Exotic perks
changeable,
will be changeable. I think that's fantastic. I mean, there's always kind of that intrinsic ability that each exotic has, but then being able to go in and customize it a little bit more, I think, is cool as hell. And I mean, I'm sure we could all assume that the catalysts are coming back, right? The exotic catalysts. Each one of these is probably going to have their own catalyst, which then is going to add just another little layer to that customization for those weapons, which is great.
The new mod situation is making me very happy.
Yes, so there are no more +5 power mods. Those are gone out the window, so mods will no longer give you the boost. So when you get a weapon, it is what it is. And the new mods will be there will be fewer of them, but they will be more interesting and impactful. And the cool thing too is when you dismantle a weapon, you will recover that mod, which really is cool because then you can go, if you dismantle that weapon but you still want to have that weapon, you can go right to your collection and buy it.
Well, this has been the thing that's killed me about mods. Number one, the +5 thing's been annoying as hell. Because then you have to always have to go look. Well, you want to infuse some. Wait, okay, does that already have a +5 on it? You have to go. It's just a pain, right? So with this, if I dismantled stuff because I wanted either motes or I wanted whatever it was, I hated that it's just gone, right? Because a lot of times I needed a certain mod,
Yeah.
And if either I didn't have it from Banshee or I couldn't get it, I didn't have it, and I'm trying to dismantle things to get it, it was just a pain in the butt. Now, if I have one, at least now I know if I dismantle something, what I'm going to get. So I love that you're going to recover them from stuff you dismantle, because you should. I mean,
yeah.
I'm interested to know, because he says they're going to be more interesting and impactful. I want to know, like, how far are they going to go?
Oh. All right, so check it out. So in one of the older interviews, they said with year 1 weapons, all right, they're not getting random rolls. They are bringing forward to Forsaken. They will be very expensive if you want to infuse them. But when asked the question, can we mod our old legendary year 1s? And he said no answer to that right now. I have a feeling that the mods are going to have more perks and stuff, like, because they said between random rolls and the new mod system, that's going to be true customization, right? So let's say I could take a Nameless Midnight, right? My favorite scout rifle. Or, no, I'm sorry, Manananan, right? If I could take Manananan, and I know I say it wrong. It's a joke.
Manananan.
If I could take my Manananan and add Outlaw to it, or add a Rifle Barrel or something to it, to me, that's going to be really customizable for the year 1 stuff. But let's say I get a new scout rifle that has some really good perks in it, and then I could throw on something extra to make it even better, and it's like my personalized XYZ scout rifle that's got explosive payload, it's got Outlaw, it rolled with range, I'm going to Masterwork it now, you know what I mean? Like, there's endless possibilities, I think. So combining mods with random rolls, I think is going to be awesome, man.
Yeah. Definitely. Now, one of the things, too, that we've always been asking for is whether or not there would be set bonuses or armor set bonuses if you completed a full set of armor like you have in World of Warcraft or other MMOs. So far, they're basically saying no to that. However, you will get badges for completing those. So
what is that?
I don't know.
Badge?
Is that in our collection books?
Well, is that a collection book? Like, is it anything important? Because with World of Warcraft, for me, like, I loved armor hunting. And going back and saying, I have this full set. Whether of course.
So what are you trying to say? We don't need no stinking badges?
I mean, don't we get enough damn tokens as it is?
I don't know. I don't know what the badges are. So it's going to be interesting to see if so there's two questions. Number one, what do the badges do? Number two, is a complete set 4 out of 5? Because what if I'm wearing an exotic?
Right.
True. Right. Well, armor perks are coming back. I know we're talking about sets here, but in the main VIDOC, you do see them scroll over the class item, and it said you will do more damage to enemies in the Dreaming City, but also take more damage within the Dreaming City. So I just hope they bring back all the armor perks that we liked from Destiny 1, where like I had my PvP loadout, which gave me increased melee attack speed, right? Or I put on a helmet that would give me health on orb pickup, or like something like that. So armor perks need to come back desperately rather than just having, like a mod. Because look, I don't use any of the ability mods. I use them all because with my terrible aim, Max, no. I use them all for sorry, Max trying to get my girlfriend's food. I use the mods for kinetic recoil, or actually because Polaris Lance and Jade Rabbit have such terrible aim down sights, like they're so clunky. If you stack 2 mods for handling, and the Warlock, you could do it for the helmet. No, actually, you could do it on all characters for helmet and arms. It makes it feel so much snappier like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So try it out, folks. Pro tip.
You think maybe the badges will have something to do with, like, I'm hoping it's not just in the book, but I wonder if it's, I don't want to say a replacement for ornaments, but I wonder if it's going to have something to do with that. Like, then it's like a badge where you could. I hope it's not something where I can just go in the book and say, "Oh, there's my badge for completing this set." I hope it's
show it off.
You can show it off, which is really what ornaments are supposed to do, but they're not really enough. I think maybe that's what these badges are going to be, like a badge of honor. What you're going to wear around in the tower.
That wouldn't be a bad thing if you have all 4, and then I have a cool You get the aura from doing the Nightfall points, but that'd be kind of cool if they did something like that. Just like, hey, look what I did. Haha, I have the badge and you don't.
Here's a big one. This is not only a quality of life one, I think it's just great because it's fun. You're going to be able to select individual strikes. Yay. So I would assume, and I think they've said they're looking at strike-specific loot. Is that confirmed to be coming back, Sean? Strike-specific loot? Do we know or no?
We don't know for regular strikes. We know the Nightfall strike loot's still going to be going, and we're getting 4 new strikes with Forsaken, 3 on PlayStation. No, 4 for PlayStation, 3 on everyone on for PC and Xbox. But I got a feeling the strikes are going to be part of quests, because if you think about it, You know what I mean? Like, why would you need a reason to go pick a strike? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, think of like Black
Yeah,
Spindle.
but the only
Well, that's
reason
what I'm
that we
saying.
like
The reason
having to
is
be able to pick them is because of the strike specific
the strike
loot. I mean,
specific loot.
how many
It's gotta
times
be
did everybody
coming,
go
right?
kill Omnigul when
Oh
we
my
wanted that one? I mean, geez, I spent hours in there killing her.
I must have gotten 300 of the God. What was the
On
Vex one that was supposed to be a Fatebringer? What was it called?
Chat
I
helps
remember now.
out.
So, you're right.
Chat. What was
The
the one?
Omnigul gun. Everybody went and tried to go crazy for.
No, that was the Grasp of Malak. But I mean,
Oh,
what's the
Grasp
one
of
when you
Malak,
kill
right.
the vet? I used to go do the Undying Mind Strike nonstop to try to get the legendary version of a Fatebringer. I'm waiting for chat. Like, I know there's like a 5-minute delay or something. Someone's gonna come up with it real quick. What was that weapon called?
Yeah,
But-
man, I know. Exactly
Yeah, they'll catch up here in a second. But I think it's great. You know, we're able to do that. And to me, it hints at the fact that there is going to be strike-specific loot in just the regular strikes. And even if they're like heroic versions. Because remember, even in
Imago
Destiny
loot.
1,
Imago loop.
Yeah,
there you
go.
the Imago loop.
That was it. Yep.
But, you know, you could pick the strike and then run it on heroic. Like, that just needs to be in there. And did they mention, well, I guess the campaign this time around is going to be different, right? Which, I mean, we didn't even get into any of that, and we don't even have it in the rundown. They put out a huge list of all 8 barons that we're going to be hunting down. And if you are a Destiny lore nut or just want a little bit of story of these guys, I mean, we're going to be hunting down these barons. They're basically the people that Cade captured, put them into the Prison of Elders in the beginning of the game. They bust out, and it's our job to go out and track them down. But there's a handful of them. I want to say it's like 6 of them. They said that you can go in any order and find.
Well, yeah, that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
That's
I think
why
that's
it's
fantastic.
that's why the story is non-linear.
You can
Yeah,
go and
like,
find
it's
these
funny,
barons, and when you hear them talk about it on the Game Informer show, and you know the guy saying, he's like, you're almost tracking them down. Where you may encounter one, like there's one, I forget what his name is, the guy that's on the he's on like a not
The rider?
Sparrow. The rider. There you go.
The
And
rider,
you're like,
yeah.
you literally have to
Bomb,
chase this guy down and hunt clues to find where he is, and so it's not
Like
just
he's
going
part
to be
of the
let me
gang.
run the rider mission, and you're going to go on the rider mission, and I'm going to beat the rider at the end, and there it's done. No, there's
I
going to
think
be
that's
things.
awesome.
It's almost going to be adventures. I think they almost refer to it like there's a few adventures that tie into each of these barons, which is great. I think that's super cool, and you can do them in any order you want to do it. That's great. So go check out the list if you guys are interested in just kind of, you know, some spoilers on the barons. There's reasons why they were in the Prison of Elders, you know, what it is about them that makes them unique.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So something real quick. Frank Parker's asking this in the chat. If the barons will drop any specific loot, I think that they will.
I think they
But
will too.
I also think one of the reasons for the cool things about the individual strikes, and I definitely think there's going to be strike specific loot. Something else that I thought of that I wanted to pose to you guys, and maybe even chat, is, you know, if you didn't watch the interview of the 113 the really fast questions that they asked Steve Cotton and Scott, go watch that. It's hilarious. But in that, the guy is rattling off a bunch of different gun names, and some of them were pretty funny, some of them were stupid. But it got me to thinking, well, if we had strike specific stuff, they said that they're open to listening to gun names. So I'm like, got me thinking. I'm driving in a car today for 11 hours. I'm thinking of some
Max
stuff.
out.
And one of the ones that I came up with, and I just before we came on the show, I tweeted this to Steve and Scott to see if they'll say anything. But so here's my thought. So a gun called Vexual Healing. And let's say it's a Vex strike, right? And the strike specific gun that you get is Vexual Healing. And the perk to it is that when you get a critical kill against a Vex opponent, it speeds up your health regen. So that would, number one, be really cool in that strike or in any Vex encounter. But number two, if you're in a Gambit game mode and there's Vex enemies, how good would that gun be?
Yeah.
So
That would
one
be
of those.
cool.
So
That
I'm
would
just
be
thinking
cool.
stuff like that. Like if you think of stuff like that and you think it's really cool, send it. Message those guys, man.
Yeah.
Put it out there. So you never know. And if that thing shows up in game, you can be sure they're gonna probably give you props for it. So think of that kind of stuff, and I think it's awesome. But if you guys think of stuff like that, tweet it to us. Let us know, and that's kind of stuff we'll bring up too, maybe on the panel if you have some good stuff.
Yeah, that would be a good panel question, man, right there. Come up with gun names. Let's see what else. So there's going to be dozens of lore fragments in the game, which I think is great. You know, I think hearing about the fact that the Dreaming City is kind of almost a puzzle in itself kind of reminds me of how the Dreadnought was, how you were able to go around the Dreadnought, find all these chests, and you had to get certain items to then, unlock certain chests or unlock certain areas. Very cool. And what were those fragments called? And the Dreadnought. You remember what those are called? The things we had to go around and collect?
Oh my god, I forgot about those.
Whatever
things.
those little things. But it was cool, man. And I've liked that in Warmind.
Yeah.
That's what I liked in Warmind, tracking all that stuff down. It's cool, man.
I think the Dreaming City sounds like what the Infinite Forest should have been.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the Infinite Forest for me was such a great like it had so much potential, and they just didn't.
Yep.
They just didn't. It didn't reach its full potential. And so when they talk about Dreaming City, I'm like, this is what they wanted to do with Infinite Forest, and they just didn't figure it out.
Yeah.
And they spent more time, and they came back to it, and now they're coming out with Dreaming City, and that for me sounds like what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I am crazy
That'd be
excited
awesome.
about Dreaming
Calcified fragments.
What did they mention? Calcified fragments. There you go. Sean, what did you listen to the Game Informer show piece or no?
Yeah.
They mentioned that new mode where it was almost like a Court of Oryx type thing where you go in there and you start. What is that mode called? Did he
I have it in here.
Detail, but they said
I have it in here. Breakthrough.
No, that's a PvP mode.
That's the PvP.
It's going to
that's what we're talking about.
A combination of Court of Oryx, Archon's Forge, Escalation Protocol, where you're going to bring different offerings. So it's kind of like,
so you bring this. The way they explained it is you bring this offering, and they said it's almost like its own little arena. Like you'll go there specifically to do it, kind of like a Court of Oryx type thing. So you go there, you bring this in, and I want to say it was only 3 players. You pop in this thing, whatever it is, and almost like a bubble appears around you, and the enemies start coming. You got to fight them within this circle, but then some of the enemies will be outside the circle, and for you to kill them, you have to leave this area. But when you go, you start losing health. So it comes down to, and some of the enemies inside your bubble will drop an item that you can pick up and survive a little bit outside the bubble. So it becomes this like risk reward of when do I go outside, when do I not? But then every round, the bubble gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So you and your teammates are forced kind of a little bit closer, and then you have to make your way out. And that game mode just sounds like it'd be so much fun. I mean, there's so much coming in Forsaken that I don't think people even
is that the Destiny Battle Royale?
Almost, yeah, right. But I thought that was a cool mode.
That's the new game mode coming in the first content drop.
Yeah. Well, what is we mentioned Breakthrough, the new PvP mode. Do we know anything about that? It's a 4v4 objective based mode.
I read the description. Well, I read the description based off what they said in the article, and I'm not a PvPer. So.
There you go. That's what T-Storm says in the chat. I think Blind Will is what they were calling that thing that I said where you go down it and activate it. But Breakthrough, it sounded like is it one person on your team gets an item, Sean? Is that what it was? And you got to protect that person or something?
I have to find the description.
You had to get to the vault or whatever, and if you got in the vault, it was kind of, it sounded a little bit like, what's
King of the Hill?
What's the competitive mode that came in D2 when we first launched? Where you've got the timer and it's going to the bomb's going to go off. No, the bomb's going to go off. Countdown. It's kind of like Countdown. Like, so in this, I mean, it's not like that, but what I mean by it's like Countdown, it's like apparently you get into this vault when you open it.
Oh, and you got to protect
you get into it.
That's right.
And then they need to try either.
But it's not like an offense defense. It's like everybody starts out. Whoever gets the quote unquote key, let's say, to the vault, then that team takes it. They open the vault and then they have to defend it, and then they're on.
It sounds kind of like King of the Hill.
Yeah. Kind of to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, minus adding the extra, I have to pick up
King of the Hill.
The key. It sounds like King of the Hill, which I'm totally for a King of the Hill mission. I mean,
definitely.
That was one of my favorite game modes back in Halo 2 and Halo 3. I signed me up for King of the Hill with this gunplay. Absolutely.
They need King of the Hill and they need Oddball. That's what we need. I love it.
Oddball would be. They need to get rid of that damn countdown mode. Is what they need to do.
Bring back Rift.
That's right. Let's see. Reset days. This is interesting now. Every 4 days is going to be the normal reset, but the raid is going to reset still on weekly.
Right. So, we're getting daily heroic story missions.
That's so confusing, though.
I know.
Now I have to okay, it's Tuesday this week, so then it's Wednesday, Thursday. So now it's Saturday. And then,
but then it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right. All right.
It means I get to do a number of weekly reset videos.
Yeah, you get to do 1 a week.
I can do 2 or 3 of them now, you know?
Yeah, that's so funny.
You don't got to get up at the ass crack of dawn anymore, Sean, or stay up that late. But now you got to make more videos now, man.
Didn't they do that in World of Warcraft? Wasn't that how World of Warcraft originally started, where it was like heroic? I think WoW did that for a long time, where it was like, I want to say it was 3 to 4 days as well, and it was like, okay, your heroics will do lockout or unlock on this day, and raids are still a weekly. What's the reason behind it? Why not just do it weekly? Because it doesn't sound like it's gonna. Does it add anything? Like, do we know what it adds? Is there any reason for it?
Other than letting you level up quicker. Yeah. Because I mean, if you think about the way we do it now, when we're gonna go through,
the way milestones work now. I mean, that's the thing too. Like maybe they just looked at it and said, you know what, most people finish their milestones in 1 day or 2 days. And then wait 5 days to play again. Like, let's just do it for 4 days. If it takes them 2 days, they do it in 2 days, and they don't have to wait as long to redo it.
Does this mean that But in return, because of that, does it make the grind to max light level harder?
I don't know.
Because you can do it more, but just because you can do it more doesn't mean it's going to be
as of right now in the 113 questions they're unsure of the soft cap. So they're now we don't know what that is. So it would depend. Yeah, if they make the grind harder, then this would make sense, of course.
Right, but we don't know. I mean, as of right now, there's no real benefit as to why don't I just do this on Tuesday or Wednesday like I do the rest of the time, unless it's going to be that much more difficult and you need to focus on those resets to continue to get that grind.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they going to have a calendar so I can look, okay, when was reset? Like
to go from
a couple months in, I'm going to be like, wait, what day is reset?
What day is it now?
They might be doing the multiple resets, guys. 385 to 600 is going to be a long grind. I don't care how much people play.
Do you think
Dude, hells yeah.
Sean, I was thinking you'll be what, 500 at the end of the campaign.
That's what I was thinking as well. You'll be 500.
No way.
500, 525 at the end of the campaign.
I'm calling it 400. You'll be 400 by the end of the
Sean, come on, you're going to be 400 before it starts. You're going to be 400 in a month.
You guys want to put your money where your mouth is? I'll do it right now.
Well, we can't be, because the 400 stuff we're going to get before everything drops is only guns. Is only guns.
You can get armor as well.
No, you'll get it.
Solstice of Heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
If you do Prestige and some of the Solstice of Heroes stuff, you can get 400 armor.
Yep.
So you'll be able to do it. So we'll be 400 before. I mean, not everybody. Some people will be 400 before this happens.
Right, you grind,
I'm saying at minimum 500 by the end of the campaign.
500, yeah.
I'm saying 400 by the end of the campaign.
No way, you're only getting 20.
400 by the end of the campaign, so you're not going to level up at all. You're going to you personally are going to play the campaign and not level up once.
I'm saying they throttled the leveling in terms of power with Warmind, right?
Yep.
I mean, folks like me got to 385 rather fast, but I literally grinded my ass off for it. You know what I mean? But they go from 385 to 600.
But didn't they do that? Haven't they done that with the other expansions back in D2?
Well, but
they slowed it down though.
Right.
I mean, in the chat, it seems like in the chat they're saying 485. I mean, I'm thinking 500, but I can see the 480, 485.
That's still a grind, though. I mean, because at the end of this, we were what, 345?
They said there's going to be parts of the campaign that we're not powerful enough. So we might have to go
I'm all for that.
Yeah,
you have to go back and farm to finish the campaign. Like, sign me up for that.
That's going to be the Barons, dude. I think that's going to be, there's going to be some Barons. Even though it's going to be like Mega Man and you can do them in any order you want, there's going to be kind of the quote-unquote correct order that makes it easier for yourself. Right. And most people are going to have to kind of do it in a certain order.
I just see them, I think even if we look at 485, and I see 455, 460 in chat, the grind to get to 600, then maybe that's why we have the normal, the reset every 4 days.
I think the grind from 500 to 600 is going to be the grind.
That's going to be the grind. Yeah, I'm with you.
And I'm all for that, but I don't know if our light level is going to end that low.
I mean, Ryan Phillips says in the chat, we're forgetting they're raising it to 400. Like, I'm not forgetting that. Like, that's why when Sean's saying that, I'm like, dude, no.
Sean's out of his mind is what we just decided.
I mean, dude, you're going to be able to, when you buy Forsaken, they're going to give you that little token that you're going to go in and cash in and give you a 400 character. Like, guys, people coming into this game not owning anything, they're going to go buy the game. They're going to get the expansions that they needed prior, and they cash in that one token for that character. Here's your 400 light level Guardian, go.
All right, you know what? Let's get 400 likes on the stream right now because we have 420 people here watching. So, all right, everyone, hit the like button, and we'll get to 400. All right, we'll get to 500.
We're gonna get to 400.
Let's get to 400 likes right now if we can.
There you go.
What? So Gerald just asked, said something in chat. The mods, the +5 mods are going away.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Right.
What happens to our gear that doesn't have? Does it get like bumped up if it has
mods on it already?
If it has a +5 mod, does it drop to 380 or does it?
It might drop to 380.
Just change the roll to 385.
I would assume it would drop.
I think it might drop to 380. I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it would be 390.
Because I'm going to be replacing all of it, but
yeah.
Right.
It's not going to. It's not going to stay at. It's like, okay.
It's not going to matter though, Notch, because everything that's going to start dropping, your blues are going to be 400.
The blues are going to. Yeah, I guess.
Right, but just out of the gate, I mean, that is a good question though. Like, just what's going to happen with that? I would say
going to log in and be 25 light level less than what I was the day before.
I think the light level it is now is just going to stay that, and that +5 goes away because I think that's just kind of the way.
I think so too.
They almost have to build it that way to do it. I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, Forsaken, there's still so many questions, guys.
There's
and
much.
We have what? There's less than 2 months now. I know we're in the we're under 60 days. I think there's like what 53 days, 52 days, something like that. But it's coming fast. Now
I think this is the most excited I've been for a Destiny expansion.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of people, and I've seen it in chat a couple times. There's a lot of people that were disappointed with Destiny 2. Yeah, and I understand. I mean, the game's dead. I don't know if you guys have heard it or not.
It's totally dead.
It's totally dead. I've looked at everything that we've seen so far, and I have a ton of questions. But this is the first time with this where I've been like the most excited. September can't come fast enough. I want to know the story. Like it just sounds. Everything sounds so great. And I can't wait.
It's like the Taken King on steroids, man. I mean, like when you look at the Dreaming City and when you look at the Tangled Shore, there's going to be so many secrets and caves and runes probably and things to find, because we're going to have to farm for these offerings for this new public event. And it's the Taken King all over. And Joe slipped out today, Joe from the raid team, and said that the raid boss is a she. So everyone was like, oh, is it Mara Sov?
Oh, yeah, that's the queen, I would think, man.
That's what as soon as he tweeted that, because Holtzman has to get a heart tattooed on his butt because of what they raised with DCP.
Which incredible.
Someone said he should get
kudos to the DCP guys.
Kudos to them. And then someone said maybe he should get the raid boss tattooed. And then Joe was like, I really don't want like spoilers or something. And he's like, plus she's too pretty or something like that. And I was like,
oh.
So then
well, if you think about it, I mean, if the main antagonist in this whole expansion is going to be Uldren, that's her brother. We're going to go hunt his butt down like, nobody's business.
In the campaign, yeah.
She can't be really cool with that, can she? I mean,
her brother's kind of a jerk. But and I feel like she wasn't. I mean, was she really that evil in Taken King?
and Jock's in the it says Savathun, but our buddy Unknown Player Andrew did a really good video on this recently of talking about Savathun. How Savathun is the one that controls the Taken, and he's always hearing voices in the place that he's going in the Dreaming City is all there's Taken, and he's hearing voices somewhere from inside of the Dreaming City. And it's probably Savathun either, making him think that it's his sister or whatever the case is. But it's definitely going to have something to do with Savathun because of the Taken.
But you almost wonder, too, man, would it make sense if Mara Sov, I mean, when we last saw her, she was in the big fight near the Dreadnought and we were wondering, is she dead? Maybe she herself was taken. And she's going to be a Taken Mara Sov. And then when we beat her at the end, then we cleanse her.
We beat her, and then she becomes the new Vanguard.
She's cleansed and become. There you go. She's cleansed.
She's cleansed, and now she's
Let's
give us our weekly milestones. Figured it out. We don't even need to play the game. Well,
I'm not even playing it. Nope, I'm playing Spider-Man instead, which comes out like 3 days later, which is killing me. Why is Spider-Man that same week? God,
they just announced Monster Hunter too. Monster Hunter comes out like on the 9th.
It's gonna look incredible.
And I'm like, God, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff.
Nothing until September, though. It's like tumbleweeds.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else we got. I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, Petrovenge is going to be our guide through the Dreaming City. She's going to rotate every 3 weeks. There was talk about a big dragon. I think they're using that as an analogy to different stories from, I think, some The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings type thing. We talked about Breakthrough. 4 new PvP maps. But guys, I don't think it's 4 PvP maps because remember, we got weird maps. No, we've got new maps where when new events came out, right?
Right.
When did we get Distant Shore? Was that with Crimson Days, right? And then we got the raid map, Emperor's Respite, after the raid dropped. So I get a feeling 4 new maps for now, but I think as seasonal events kick in, I think we'll get some more maps.
More stuff, yeah.
So we'll be talking more Forsaken, obviously, here in the coming weeks. But one thing we didn't mention, too, is Bungie Day. Bungie Day came and went.
Yes.
And Triumphs. Moments of Triumph are now in the app. You can go in there and check out some of them. I'm sure many of you have already met some of these. But when the Solstice of Heroes launches, there's going to be even more in there. So go take a peek, see which ones you have, which ones you don't. And you know what? I love it when they do this because it gives you something to work towards, something to play.
Yeah. And the Ghost and the Sparrow look fantastic.
They do look cool. They do look really cool.
They look fantastic. Yeah. And they've showed a little bit of the skins as well. So I'm excited.
One thing go ahead, sorry.
Is Iron Banner coming back tomorrow?
Did the celebration week ends for Future War Cult?
Yeah.
Iron Banner comes back tomorrow.
It wasn't in the TWAB though.
But let me look at that image.
I think it's tomorrow.
I think it is. Yeah. Well, you guys talk. Let me look through the last.
I thought it was while we were at Guardian Con. Actually, as I
is
think
it going to be this week? So yeah, I mean, that's
I think it's this week. I think it's tomorrow because it was the faction, then the celebration week, and then Iron Banner. And I think the celebration week ends tomorrow. So I think Iron Banner comes back.
Yep. There you go.
I'm trying to find that image. I'll find it right now.
What did you guys think of the armor helmets they showed for Moments of Triumph? Did you see that? I saw somebody made it where they like kind of flipped it too, so you could see it.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
I like them.
They look good. Yeah, I like it a lot.
I'm really I like these events. I love these events, and like you said, it's another reason for us to jump back in. What were you guys at? Did you look
as far as what?
For the Solstice stuff? Do you know what your points were at?
I'm at 100
I'm at like
something.
I don't
remember. Like 160, I think, or something like that.
I need the Spire because I haven't done Spire yet, so I got to finish that to get that, and then I need to get my Vanguard ranks for season 3 because I've been kind of slacking on that. So that's kind of what I'm going to be working on to knock those out.
I'm at like 120, nice. Which I thought I was going to be higher.
I'm 115. I'm 115 right now.
Yeah.
So yep, I need for my general. I got to finish the Vanguard rank, hit 50 with that. And then, I've never gone and gotten the region chests either. That's one thing that, like...
Oh, yeah, me too.
There's so many easy videos out there. I'm like, I'm just going to do that and just capture all those.
I've got like 35.
I did all the 45 of 45 for...
I have 44 of 45. Yeah. The one that I haven't gotten is the one in one of the Escalation protocols. I got the one that's in the tree. I think that's the one that's on the side of the building. Yeah. That's the only one I haven't gotten yet.
Well, go get it. You get a pretty sweet Sparrow.
Yeah, Sparrow, man. I drive it all
Come on, dude.
Yep.
All right. So anything else,
one thing
guys?
I did want to one thing I did want to mention. Since reset is tomorrow, and I'm sure everybody knows this, but there was a triple Valor XP type deal weekend for Valor, and Mayhem is in there. Dado said he went and logged in, and in 4.5 hours got all the way through using Mayhem with the triple Valor rank. So if you want to rank up that Valor and rock and roll, if you haven't done it, go pop in there before.
When does that end?
I will
tomorrow.
It is tomorrow, right? Yeah.
Right. I will say that's great advice. However, today I went in to do my milestone PvP, and it took me 4 or 5 matches, whatever it normally takes to do that. Every single match, Hunter Fun Police. Wanted to kill myself. I just could not play another match in Mayhem. Because, that makes me so.
I get all over Twitter. I know everybody.
Quick before I forget, I found it on my desktop. July 10th, Iron Banner.
Okay, there you go.
Okay,
so that's tomorrow. Yep.
Do you guys like Mayhem?
I love Mayhem.
Oh yeah, I love Mayhem. Yeah,
I love it because I only play as Night Stalker, and I just be the fun police.
For me, Mayhem was like SWAT, and when everyone was like, "Dude, I'm the best at SWAT," well, you can just shoot a toe. Like, of course, you're good at SWAT. It takes out all of the skill. I've never been able to enjoy Mayhem. The fun police are out in full damn force.
Yeah.
And I just jump in and I'm like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I have not been able to get into it.
I went in there to get my milestone today.
When I do fun police, fun police. When I do Mayhem, I run Striker Titan, because when I pop my super and I do a smash, you had to have already tethered me and I didn't use my super yet, so there's no fun police on me. Because unless while I'm smashing, like I'm at least going to get one smash in.
Yeah, that's true.
And
that's all you can ask for in Mayhem is just at least getting one kill with a damn super before you get tethered.
I use my lightning grenades like crazy, and I'm smashing everybody and running around like a maniac. Yeah. I love Mayhem with Striker Titan. So
I will say it is always fun though to kill somebody with a gun in Mayhem, because you can tell they're probably just like, dude, why are you using a weapon?
Why are you shooting me right now?
What are you doing? I love it, man. I just kind of just sitting back, just bing, 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 with my vigilance just melting them.
I just think it just takes away the skill, and then for me, I'm like, why? Yeah. Why?
And that's what Mayhem's about, man.
But that's also, you got to think of it. The majority of players aren't high skill cap players.
Yeah.
So it's fun for more people than not. You know what I mean? I think.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up there, guys.
Yeah, again, good show, guys.
This week is Guardian Con. Be sure, I'm going to have the link in the show notes. And of course, donate to the Big St. Jude charity marathon that's going on right now for Guardian Con. I mean, they're over 1.5 million as of right now as we're recording this. Shooting for the moon on this thing. I know we're going to cross 2 million easily, and I think the stream is going to go all the way until Saturday, the end of Guardian Con. I think that's when Ninja and Dr. Lupo are on stage playing Fortnite, which is going to be bananas. Be sure to also follow the Guardian Con channel, because you're going to have some Gambit gameplay. There's going to be a charity stream that Bungie's doing, a Gambit exhibition tournament, which should be fun to watch. Some people playing that. That's going to be on Friday at 6 p.m. Hopefully I'll be in the background making crazy faces like I did last time. There's last year's Guardian Con. You see like M-Tash there and me just making crazy faces behind him. Be on the lookout for us. We'll be there. And of course, if you are at Guardian Con, swing by the booth, guys. We will be there. We're doing our panel on Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. There's going to be a second Guardian Con channel that is going to be launching. That's where our panel will be. It's the Rare Drop Guardian Con channel. So if you want to see us stream it, it's on Twitch.
Yep.
I think it's twitch.tv/RareDropCo. I think is what it is for like Rare Drop Company. But you'll find it. You'll find it out there. And of course, check out our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Guardian Radio. We will have our booth streamed live the whole time. Be on the lookout for Sean's video tomorrow to have your voice heard on our panel. Leave us just funny comments in there. It can be about anything. It can be about Destiny. It can be about the podcast. It can be about whatever.
We need lots of questions, though, so send them in, guys.
We got an hour and a half to fill, man. So every panel we've done has always been an hour, and this time they tacked down that little extra 30 minutes. So
and we're opening the show.
And tweet hashtag AskGR on Twitter at the Guardian Radio Twitter, and we'll go through those too also.
Guardians of D, and we'll also ask for them. So follow us at Guardians of D, and we'll do that. But Notch, glad you could be here, man. God,
man, I'm glad I could be here too.
So great having you.
Thank you for being on the show, man. Where can they find you, brother?
You guys can find me again 6 nights a week on Twitch, twitch.tv/another-notch. We talked about this before the show. I'm a PC player. So if you're looking for somebody to play PC games with, I'm all about community. If you guys want to raid, grind Nightfalls, PvP, I'm on PC all the time. I love it. Twitch.tv/another-notch, and you can find me on the Twitters at Notch Plays Game.
Yep.
Awesome.
And Notch, real quick about your name. Yeah, I mean, you go another Notch because of Notch, the Minecraft creator. Is that the...
No, that's not it.
You don't? Okay. Like I always thought. I'm like, that's why he does it. He's just like another Notch. He's not that Notch.
I was
another notch on the belt, baby.
Another notch on the belt. I was a very hardcore World of Warcraft player. I was top 10 world raids. I was one of the first ever high warlords back in World of Warcraft. And then when Arenas came out, I had a friend who was always trying to say like, what is it? Another rung on the ladder. Like but he always said another notch on the ladder, and I was like, that's not the saying. And so we always made fun of him. Yep. And so I just turned in. I went from Shepherd to another notch, and another notch
It's funny, Real Crafty. He got his name. We asked him when we had him on the show. Same type of a deal. It was from World of Warcraft because he was crafty, and then he had somebody always doing stuff for him, like doing dailies.
Yeah.
And then nobody knew if it was crafty, and so he started Real Crafty because it was. Then you knew it was actually him.
It was actually him. Yeah.
Right. That's funny. Nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. However you're tuning in, whether it's through YouTube, through the podcast, through Podbean, through iTunes, or your podcast service of choice. Thank you so much. And Notch, I don't know if you've ever heard the end of one of our shows, but you have to give us your best death groan, an awoken death groan. If you were an awoken and you were dying,
man,
that's what we're doing. So, everybody, thank you as always.
You just got shot like Cade 6.
We'll catch you guys next week.
He made no sound.
Later.
Spleen.
Good show, guys. Good show, guys.
Awesome.
No Yoda in that one.
No Yoda.
No Yoda.
All right, Stream. Thank you guys so much, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks everybody for hanging out, guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, sorry for the little glitches there in the beginning.
Technical.
My internet. Actually, at one point, about 10 minutes in, if people were here in the very beginning, there was a moment where like you guys froze.
I thought we dropped.
I think Caleb was talking and it kind of froze for a minute, and I got to go back and edit it because I just think I just go fuck, like I just like screamed it.
Well, it's not going to be in there because we started a new stream key. So that was
it's going to be on the audio. It's all there. It's all there. So.
Thank you guys for the invite, man. I appreciate it.
The puppies. What's up?
All right, stream. I'm going to kill the stream, guys. Thank you so much, man. We'll catch you guys later.